So at the beginning of the video we see a boy named Principal who is trying to catch a bird. The bird tells him that if you have the courage then catch it and show it. Also, the principal asks his grandfather to hunt that bird for dinner tonight. The bird was already scared after seeing his grandfather. After that, the grandfather throws a weapon lying nearby on the bird and kills it. The bird falls down and the principal also starts running after it to save it because he did not want to sleep hungry tonight. After this, in the next scene, we see the grandfather of the principal who leaves the responsibility of cutting that bird to the principal, and we see that the principal undresses that bird with just one hand. After a while, when they are eating food, we see some kind of magical mark below the neck of that bird, and this thing was not right at all. That is, someone had tamed that bird and deliberately sent it to this island. The next day we see that the principal is training with his grandfather. At first he escapes every attack of his grandfather, but in the end his grandfather catches him and defeats him. But the principal does not cry over his defeat. Rather he is happy that at least he has grown a little compared to before. After this his grandfather goes to the riverbank to wash the utensils. At the same time he remembers that he is forgetting something, i.e. the principal's birthday is tomorrow. After this, grandfather runs to the principal and tells him about this. The principal is urinating. He says to his grandfather, "What is the big deal in this? Birthday comes every year, right?" His grandfather tells him that this time you are going to be 16 years old, that is, an adult. Hearing this, the principal is very happy and says that now I have become a grown-up man, that is, I can woo at least 1 or 2 girls. His grandfather tells him that there are many things in life other than girls. When you grow up, you have to join the army. Do not forget that you have to become a powerful warrior. You know many people live below this island. They have their own associations. There are also different types of animals here, by hunting which people earn money and have fun with that money. Are you not excited to go down? We see that the principal did not want to live that kind of life. After that, when his grandfather drinks too much, his grandfather says to him, "Do you know that your father also joined the Adventure Guild at the age of 16? The principal says that I do not want to hear anything about that man because now he is dead, and as far as becoming an adventurer is concerned, there is still a lot of time till then. I want to spend that time with you." Now that night we see that the principal was excited for his birthday tomorrow, and after turning 16, he could have a lot of fun. He is sitting on the shore of the island and looking at the sky. At that very moment he falls asleep. After a while, when he wakes up at midnight, he sees that a man is flying in a boat from the fog and heading towards their island. He is a knight. He says that whoever killed my bird must be present on this island. He asks the principal about it. The principal tells him that we roasted it and ate it very well. Was it your bird? To tell the truth, it didn't taste that bad. The knight asks him that your name is Principal and where is your grandfather? I am his friend and want to meet him. The principal is very surprised because till date his grandfather had not told him about any of his friends, and he is the first person who has come to meet him on that island. He gets very excited without even asking the knight that why have you come here and why are you wearing knight's clothes as if you are going to war. He tells everything about his grandfather and his place. He himself starts playing with his boat at that place. Here the knight sets out to find his grandfather. After a while the principal realizes that he has made a big mistake. Here we see his grandfather who is cutting vegetables for the morning. At the same time, Holy Knight reaches that place and says that I am very sad to see you in this condition. Hearing this voice, the principal's grandfather recognizes him and becomes alert. At the same time, Holy Knight attacks him and the grandfather falls straight into the house, due to which he gets very injured, but still he goes to Holy Knight and starts attacking him again. The sword fight between the two was really worth watching. Holy Knight doesn't think he will be able to stop this man in sword fight. So he uses his power and attacks the principal's grandfather and injured him. At the same time, the principal also reaches that place and he says to Holy Knight, "How dare you hurt my grandfather?" And asks him to move away from his grandfather, but Holy Knight attacks him to shut his mouth, but the principal escapes that attack. Holy Knight tells him that you are not speaking much. If you are so fond of dying, then after your grandfather I will kill you too. To fight that night, the principal throws a stone lying nearby at him, but this small stone does not affect him at all. So the principal throws a big stone at him this time, but Holy Knight saves himself from it. Just as the Holy Knight is about to attack him, his grandfather runs after him and grabs the Holy Knight from behind and tells Prince Val to flee the place. He doesn't have much time until his grandfather stops him. The principal did not want to leave his grandfather alone at that place because in this birth he has no one else except his grandfather. The knight says at that place that if your drama is over then go away from me because none of you two are going to run away from this place. After this he retaliates on his grandfather and injures him and also attacks the principal. The principal gets injured very badly, but still he gets up and punches the knight, but his punch was very weak, due to which the Holy Knight kicks him away. Here the grandfather of the principal asks him that why he has come here, and if he had not heard this at that time then he would have killed him. The knight says at that place that I have come here for the order of the king. Actually, a few days ago she was predicting that one of the 4 knights is going to kill the king, and don't forget that you are the first among those knights too. So I killed you. Well, the Holy Knight has no proof of this, but still he shouldn't have injured the principal so badly because what was his fault in this? Anyway, the Holy Knight then leaves the place. We see the principal standing and apologizing to his grandfather for not being able to protect him. The surprising thing was that the principal was still alive even after being injured so badly. His grandfather tells him that I am very proud of you that you did as much as you could. At that moment, his grandfather's health deteriorates and he falls on the ground, but he tells the principal that he does not have much time and he wants to tell him a very important thing. Before dying, the knight who came here today is named Iron Knight and he is none other than the principal's father. Hearing this, the principal is very surprised because his grandfather has only told him from childhood till now that his father died long ago when he was about 2 years old, and even if he was his father, how can someone kill his child so badly? His grandfather tells him that I do not have much time to tell you this, so I want you to go and find your father. He will tell you everything. He does not hate you so much and maybe I cannot help you in this work now. You have to live the rest of your life on your own. He will go for himself and live the life that everybody else is living. Next morning when the principal wakes up, he finds his grandfather dead next to him. After this, he buries his grandfather's dead body and feels very lonely because this was the first time in his life that he had lost someone close to him. Well, after this he goes to that house where everything was broken and he starts fixing things there, and then at that time he sees a box inside which there were new clothes and shoes for the principal, and actually his grandfather had stitched these things with his own hands because he wanted that when the principal grows up, he should wear these clothes in his adventure. The principal comes to his grandfather's grave and promises him that he will definitely fulfill his dream. He starts running away from that place wearing that dress, but the size of that dress was a little too long, due to which he falls down. After this he starts getting down from that island, but as much as he was going down, he was not able to see the ground. After descending for a long time, when he finally sees the ground, he becomes very happy and due to excitement he falls down the hill where he sees a creature resembling Doraemon. He starts talking to him and says, "Do you also do adventure in this place? Do you know where I come from? I have come from above." The creature thinks that he is talking nonsense and he is not able to understand a single thing he says, so he ignores the principal and runs away from there, but the principal does not leave him alone, instead starts following him while talking to him. That animal tries to run away but the principal is still chasing him. While running, he notices a guy who was actually with his group at that place. That guy throws some pieces of paper in the sky and all those pieces start burning, and at the same time a girl named Elva makes all those papers disappear with her magic and starts showing tricks with her monkey at that place. We see that the last guy in their group did not want to do such useless things with them, on which the gang member starts shouting at him. On the other hand, the principal who was watching their magic from a distance is very surprised and happy and starts clapping at that place. Everyone is very surprised that what is this kid doing here, because the place where we are standing is very far from the nearby villages. One of them is a guy named Dominion. He tells the principal that, "Hey kid, we can show this show to anyone for free. I won't show you. Now give us some money." The principal is very surprised that what money is he talking about, because where he lived, his grandfather never told him about money. Dominion tells him that it's okay if you don't have money, then it's okay, we are taking your stuff. After this, he starts flying the principal in the air with his power. But the principal is enjoying a lot in that place.